Hello, welcome to rodneysblog.net and Rodney Trevino YouTube channel. Today we're going to read in in Genesis chapter 22, Abraham tested. So sometime later God tested Abraham. He said to him, Abraham, here I am, he replied. Then God said, take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you. So God is telling Abraham to sacrifice his only son, the son that God had promised to make a nation out of and to multiply his descendants. And so as you can see, this directly contradicts what God has been telling him the whole time. And it takes a lot of faith and trust in God to be able to go along with his plans. Not only that, but to ask for someone to ask you to kill or sacrifice your own son, your firstborn, your baby, um, is an incredibly just incredible thing to ask, because as we all know, we love our children and we value them far above many times anything, even our own lives. We would gladly give up all our money or our homes or even our own lives if it could save the life of our child. So, in a matter of speaking, our children are our most loved and prized possession of our life. So God was literally testing Abraham and trying to ascertain whether he loved his son Isaac more than he loved God. And so this is a huge, huge thing that God is requiring from Abraham. And I know it's easy to just read through the paragraphs and say, oh, wow, that's kind of incredible. But to stop and think about how incredible it really is. And I could ask you, if you have children, what if God came to you and told you you need to sacrifice your child, or not that he would, I'm not saying that he would do that, but what if God told you, I require your child, it's time for you to let him go, he's going to die of natural causes or of an accident or whatever, and I want you to be okay with that because I need him for my purpose. Say goodbye to your child. Would you be okay with that? Would you say, okay, take him, Lord, you gave him to me and you can take him anytime? Or would you say, no, wait, take me instead? No, wait, please just take everything I have instead. So as you can see, the reason I put it in those terms is so that you can understand how huge a request this is. And let's continue in verse 3. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took with him two of his servants and said to Isaac, when he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took with him two of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place God had told him about. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servant, stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship and then we will come back to you. So, without question and with complete trust and faith, Abraham obeys God here. And he's about to go sacrifice his son, or kill his son, basically. Verse 6, Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac. So Isaac is carrying the wood that's going to burn him basically. And he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father Abraham, Father. Yes, my son, Abram replied. The fire and the wood are here, Isaac said. But where is the lamb for the burnt offering? So Isaac, wondering, hey, where's the lamb? He does not realize he's the lamb, Verse 8, Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And the two of them went on together. So, of course, Abraham didn't tell him that you're the lamb, I'm going to kill you. Verse 9, When they reached the place God had told them about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. So he tied up his son and tied him to the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took a knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham. Here I am, he replied. Do not lay a hand on the boy. So with the knife in his hand, he was about to plunge it into his son's heart or belly or whatever to kill him. The angel burst on the scene and said, stop, don't do it. Don't do that. Verse 12, do not lay a hand on the boy, he said. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. So this is a pretty incredible test that Abraham was put through by God to see if he would sacrifice even his own son. So verse 13 here. Abraham looked up, and there in a thicket he saw a ram caught by its horns. He went over and took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called that place, the Lord will provide. And to this day it is said, on the mountain of the Lord it will be provided. The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you have done this, you have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of your cities of your enemies, and through your offspring all nations on earth will be blessed because you have obeyed me. Then Abraham returned to his servants, and they set off together for Beersheba, and Abraham stayed in Beersheba. So this is a huge moment, Genesis 22, and a huge lesson here that we learn about Abraham, that he was, like I said earlier, if you had only one child and God told you that you had to lose your child, how would that make you feel? Would you be okay with that? That would be very difficult. I know many parents would say, no, I would sacrifice myself instead. The child is so precious, the value is beyond value, that you would sacrifice everything for our child. So, and Abraham was willing to give up his child for God. So huge lesson there that we see about Abraham. And as we continue reading in the Bible, in fact, God allowed his only son to be sacrificed, which was Jesus, and killed on the cross as a demonstration of how much he loved us. So that's the parallel. In this case, there was a test. I don't think God would ever want you to sacrifice your son to God. Please don't misconstrue this to say, oh, you should do this. Nobody should probably ever do this except on this one occasion when God was testing Abraham. Please don't think that in any way that I'm saying that you should sacrifice your children. That is a huge injustice in what I'm trying to teach here. Nahor's son. Sometime later, Abraham was told, Milcah is also a mother. She has borne sons to your brother Nahor. Uz, the firstborn, Buz, his brother, Kemuel, the father of Aram, Kesed, Hazo, Pildash, and Jitleth, and Bethuel. Bethuel became the father of Rebekah. And later on, I think Rebekah actually married Isaac. Milcah bore these 8 sons to Abraham's brother Nahor. His concubine, whose name was Reumah, also has sons, Teba, Gaham, Tahash, and Makkah. So that is Genesis chapter 22. Thank you so much for watching RodneySpark.net. Have a great day. All right, bye-bye.